You make a like it's an interesting thought, and the future of education, I guess, really around the world. Um, Obviously, with schools closing like prematurely right across the board, in like universities, students being sent home to learn online. You know what is going to happen for the future of of universities after COVID, because I know there's a lot of schools that they're not going to be opening up. Their students are going to have to learn online, but yet they're still paying. Tuition is not going to change, even though they're not even stepping foot on the university grounds. So is this the start of the re-education of students? Like, are we, like you said, are we going to be doing more open source, like the Khan Academy? Are those going to be more prolific, or more online universities like Athabasca, University of Phoenix? They provide amazing, incredible education experiences, but everything's online. Are we gonna see more of those situations coming up, or is a Yale going to start something like that, or Princeton, or U of T? Like, where is this going to go?
Well, they've already, I mean, some of those universities that you mentioned, they've already started it. Like Stanford's already started it. They've already started putting up courses online because they knew that at MIT, it's the same thing, right? You can do a whole bunch of distance education, which if you asked them 10 years ago, they'd have scoffed at it and gone, oh, we don't do that. This is far beneath us, and they kind of took this very snotty approach to it. But now they realize not only is there money in it, but I think the accidental thing is they're doing a good thing. But I think from their perspective, they look at it from, monetary perspective, because of people, like Khan Academy, or really great instructors that have just gone out there and said, you know what, I'm just going to go and start putting my lessons up there openly, or I'm just going to, outside the university, I'm just going to start putting my lessons up online. If you look at the compensation of what teachers end up getting paid out there, like at the university level, the majority of the teaching isn't done by these tenured professors, and tenure is becoming more and more difficult to come by, right? So a lot of it's done by TAs, a lot of it's done by teaching assistants, by instructors who don't end up getting full-time secure jobs. And oftentimes they're working 2, 3 jobs, at a time. This is one of the reasons I didn't stay in grad school, right? I took my, second time around. I came back from Cornell, came back here to U of T. I said, you know what, I'm going to go for, I want to end up getting my PhD. And I think two things happened. One is I realized, okay, you know what, I clearly liked academia less than I liked applying the stuff to industry and getting out there. So I think you tend to do good things in the things that you like doing. I realized I just didn't like sitting there and having my theorem kind of named after me, and then getting something that would have put me out of industry for a long time. But the other aspect of it was a really depressing kind of statistically a really bad life, where if you look at how even instructors in academia are, you have a very, very low chance of actually success, right? The number of people who end up getting, well-paid tenure positions after getting a PhD, and for all practical intents and purposes, working these really insane hours, it's very low, your likelihood of success. You spent 5, 6, 7 years doing something with the hope that you'd end up getting, a well-paying job. And guess what? It's not going to be the case. So I think even for employees of the university system, from a teaching perspective, even they've, finally started to say, okay, you know what, I think there's a better way than this. And so, yeah, universities, they're going to be in a spot of bother, I think, at least for the short term, because people are starting to question it. But long term, I don't know. I think they might end up joining the bandwagon of, remote education and just start charging exorbitant fees for that. $20,000, for the XYZ university of some certificate or the other, right? You can end up having some type of a business analysis degree, right, given by some really prestigious university, whose name shall not be mentioned. But I think that's exactly what they're starting to do, is that they're going to take an opportunity to be able to start making money off the entire remote thing, and then people are going to start wanting to be associated. So I think it's going to be cyclical. I don't know whether the entire university system is going to kind of come crashing down. These things all go in cycles. They ebb and they flow, and people figure out to kind of make a money. But certainly there has been some type of a tipping point that's been crossed where people are starting to realize that the online path really is useful and